Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. This is Bob Pompeani. Thanks, Josh. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. We join you every night, 7 nights a week at 412-575-2600. Call us. You can hit us up on X at KDPomp, at Chris Mueller PGH. And kind of a busy day. We had heard that the Pirates may have been interested in Framber Valdez, but I saw tonight that Jeff Passan had a report that he'd signed with Detroit for 3 years, $115 million, which would come out to almost $40 million a year. So apparently that was not going to happen. How do you think those things start, Chris?
I mean, I do think, like, the Pirates maybe make some sort of overture that they are willing to pay, I don't know, let's just, for argument's sake, say 2 years and $60 million with an opt-out after the first year, because a lot of these guys, when they, like, remember Carlos Correa went to the Twins and he had all those opt-outs, like these guys from bigger markets who actually sign with smaller market teams, they want to make sure they can get the heck out of the deal if they don't like it or if they want to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So it probably stems from, like, the Pirates making what is seen in the industry as a serious overture or a serious, not offer, but like, hey, getting it out there, we're willing to do this for this pitcher, and then they get connected to it. And the reason I generally give it more, I don't know, credence this year, this offseason is, now Rosenthal's not an example of this really, but Jeff Passan has reported on their interest in players, and he has routinely bashed Bob Nutting and bashed the franchise and basically said they're not a serious franchise at numerous points in time in the past. So they must be convincing some of the insiders that they are trying harder for real and not just saying they're trying. But guess what? Still didn't get Framber Valdez. So, like, the downstream effect of this, Bob, is if you're a Pirates fan, right, you've seen them sign O'Hearn, you've seen them trade for Lau, you know Connor Griffin's on the way. Okay, so they've made some moves to make the team better. But then you have the rest of the offseason, you're getting them connected, like, by sources that never connect them to serious players, right? Mm-hmm. And they're getting connected in a way that makes you think it could happen. And they have gone over on all those big-name players. So what does that have the net effect of doing? In my opinion, it just engenders more frustration, even though they have made a couple of positive moves because they've struck out on all the big ones. Well, when you get into $30 million a year, Pirates aren't going to pay that for anyone, I don't think. Certainly not Valdez. I thought realistically the Eugenio Suarez was something just because of the price. We had seen where it was going to go in the $15 million one-year range, which to me is affordable by them. So they go into the season still incomplete. But I looked at the rest of the division today, Chris. Chicago has improved. Cincinnati has improved. I think St. Louis is going to be going backwards. But it ain't going to be an easy division either. So they're going to need more than less right now. They got to go out and get another bat, I think. I'm not sure where they do it. If it's a trade with the Mets, it's a trade with the Phillies, it's something. They got to address that situation. As much as I like Jared Triolo, and I do, he's not an everyday player. At least he shouldn't be. He's a defensive specialist who should move around in your lineup where you think you need somebody that can get a day off or that needs a day off, and you just stick him in there because you figure he can play multiple positions. But I can already just feel how this is going to go. They are counting on Skeens to be godlike again, actually pretty good bet to make. They are counting on Connor Griffin to essentially be somewhere in the Mike Trout, Juan Soto neighborhood as like a teenager, especially the Soto neighborhood. They're imagining he'll come up and basically be their best position player more or less immediately. And that's hoping certain things happen. That's not trying to take action and make things happen. Alec Boehm, trade for him from the Phillies. I assume that's who you were referring to there. Like, yes. Give me somebody on that front who actually looks like a relatively established major league bat. In fact, if you traded for Boehm, I would actually prefer that to the Eugenio Suarez move that people kept wanting them to make, because I think Boehm might be a better overall baseball player and better kind of overall, projected hitter in this park. But it just seems like they are counting on, hey, we got this lightning in a bottle prospect coming up, and we've got this generational talent at pitcher, and we're going to augment with a couple of pieces, but nothing super serious, and hope that these guys basically just carry us. Cautionary note here, Bob, because now you're getting me fired up. What do we always say about the Trout and Ohtani Angels? There's a very famous tweet where somebody basically said, oh yeah, tonight Shohei Ohtani did something that Tungsten Armo Doyle was the last person to do for the Akron Superbas in the 1880s, and Mike Trout had 2 home runs. Anyway, the Angels lost to the Tigers 8-6. You know, it's
Yeah.
going to be like that. You can't just count on that kind of stuff and say, well, two-man team, they're going to carry us.
No, totally agreed. But they have holes in this lineup that need to be addressed if they're going to make a serious, pitch for a chance of getting a wild card. We'll talk more about that. We're going to hear from you at 412-575-2600. Also, it's not been a good basketball season, but a couple of nice wins tonight for the locals. We'll talk about them when we come back and take your phone calls right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, KDKA Plus 93.7 The Fan.
You can't do that. If he did what he's alleged to have done, which is punched the guy and broken his jaw, I don't really care what the guy was allegedly saying and who he was saying it to that was close to McKenna and how mad that would make him. I am aware that he's just a kid. He's 18. You also got to know better, man. You're a marked man. Like,
Absolutely.
What do you think hockey is when you get to the NHL? Like, I'm not trying to take like something that happens obviously off the rink into real hockey. Do you think guys just don't chirp at you in the NHL to try to make you lose your cool? And this is away from the rink, obviously, so it's way more serious. But, like, man, we rip professional athletes, and he's basically a pro because he's getting paid several $100,000 to be there. He's been under the scrutiny of the spotlight, I would imagine, for a couple of years. If it's bad when DK Metcalf does it as a pro athlete, it's bad even when a college athlete does it. Like, you're a Big Ten athlete. You are pretty famous. You are getting paid. You are a pro in everything but like the nomenclature.
On the line.
You have a ton to lose.
Right.
You have so much to lose. Like if some jabroni getting liquored up and talking trash to you or a family member and he won't stop, walk away.
Just get
I'm
out of
also
it.
amazed, by the
Absolutely.
way. I'm also amazed, by the way, one other thing. This is allegedly happening while like the whole team or a huge swath of the team and family members and all sorts of other people are there. You're telling me that there wasn't one teammate or one grown-up adult, like 40 or 50-something, just dragging him out of there by his collar before something happened?
Yeah. That's
What
why
are
some
those
of these
people
guys,
doing?
they have like handlers who are with them all the time and are there to make sure nothing like this happens.
If I were one of his teammates who was like 6'3 or 6'4, I would have picked him up over my shoulder and walked him away like he was my little brother, because he's not like a super big guy. You can't let that. Anybody around him should be ashamed that they let this get to this point.
You have to understand who you are, what you are, and you're right. You're targeted. Anyone in that position is. He's making a lot of money. He stands to make even more money. You got to remember that's what it's about. Stay away, move on, do something else. And you're right. Somebody else should have intervened there if they didn't. We'll talk more about that. Want to go to the lines at 412-575-2600, beginning with Stan in McCandless tonight. Hello, Stan. How are you?
Good evening. How you doing, Bob?
Good, thanks.
Guys, I'd like to just make a comment, if you could just bear with me, concerning the Penguins. They better hope that coming out of the break that they end up in second or third place in the Metro. Because I'll tell you why, getting into the wild card might not be the way to get in to the, to the playoffs, because I think they might have more points than what we have in the second and third place.
Well, and the matchups normally are worse, especially if you're last in that wild card. You got to go to the Atlantic Division, which is stocked with a lot of different people. Listen, to me, it's just about getting there, given where this team was at the beginning of the season, the expectations. I thought last night they played a pretty good game. I thought the goaltending was bad, and I thought Stuart Skinner, even though he's played well of late, let them down in that game. A couple of shots he should never have let in. Especially the one by Ryan Pulock that made it 4-4, Chris. You got to make that save if you're a big-time goalie.
Yeah, I thought that was by far his worst of the four. I thought really the first goal that the Islanders scored was kind of a partial screen by the Penguins on Skinner, but you could still ask him to stop it. I thought the last goal was not good. It'll be a shame if they don't stay in the top three in the Metro, because if they don't, it'll almost certainly be because they don't get enough overtime points and shootout points and get those two. Instead, they always end up getting one. They have the the third highest regulation points percentage in the entire Eastern Conference, fifth highest in the NHL. That signifies that they are a very good team. And if they got to the playoffs, you're not playing gimmicky 3-on-3 overtime and eventually going to a shootout. It just would frustrate me that kind of like an artificial part of NHL games is something that has them in more peril than they should be, given how largely great they've been for the first 60 minutes of hockey games this